The Los Angeles Lakers are reportedly considering a John Wall for Russell Westbrook swap. It would send Russell Westbrook back to a Houston Rockets team in which he's already demanded a trade from just a couple years ago. So apparently, if the Rockets were to pull the trigger on this Wall for Westbrook swap, they would then buy Westbrook out of his contract, which would make him pretty much a free man. He would be on the waiver market, and he could go pretty much to any team that will want him. I'm going to be real with you, bringing in that type of talent, but that type of polarizing personality, I'm not 100% sure Westbrook will be on a roster come playoff time. That's kind of wild if you look at his numbers, but I think that just tells you how big of a personality this dude is and how taxing he can be on a locker room. That's crazy. If Russell Westbrook were a free man right now, I'm not 100% sure he'd get picked up by any team in the league, because the bad teams don't want him because they're clearly trying to tank. And Russell Westbrook, if nothing else, plays hard and is available for your squad every night. He's going to want to play if he's on your team. He don't want to just sit around. The good teams don't want him because he's athletically able to compete with your best point guard, but his motor and mentality is sometimes so off-kilter, it doesn't make sense a lot of the time. You know, you don't want to put him around your top guards. So that's interesting. I don't know if Westbrook would actually get picked up if the Lakers were to make a swap for him for John Wall, which means, should he be the Lakers starting point guard? If I were to say to you that the Lakers of LeBron in year 19 leading the league in scoring, if I were to say to you that if their starting point guard were available, no other team in the NBA would want him, I guess the question would be, should that be the starting point guard of the Lakers? That's all I'm saying. To get into the minute details of why Houston would want to do a Westbrook for Wall swap, they're just trying to pick up some compensation for John Wall. Before the season even started, the Rockets owner, who I believe is out of his mind, agreed to not play John Wall this season and try to find him a trade. John Wall's at that interesting place in his career where he hasn't, lived up to the money that he's making, but at the same time, he's talented and can score. The Rockets are clearly trying to tank to the utmost degree while allowing their young guys like Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. to make as many mistakes as possible and lose while they're doing it. My thing is, the Rockets are tied for the third worst record in the NBA right now. If you play John Wall, I don't think you will win that many more games. You'll be more competitive, but I don't think you will win that many more games. I believe Wall, could possibly help Jalen Green in his growth. Maybe the Rockets see otherwise. Maybe they think he would stagnate, the growth of Jalen Green. He's around the team a little bit. I don't know how much, but I have seen him around the facilities a little bit with the Rockets. So I'm just saying, we've seen that it ain't the worst record in the NBA that's, winning the draft lottery. It's usually like the 6th or 7th worst record is getting the draft lottery and winning it and having a top pick or a number 2 pick. The Rockets had the number 2 pick. I don't think they had the worst record in the league last year. Don't quote me on that. I think you can still be bad enough if you allow John Wall to play, is what I'm saying. But they have him removed from the team, and it looks like they would consider a future first-round pick from the Lakers, probably 2027, which is where the Lakers got. Remember, they traded a lot of their picks for Anthony Davis. So 2027 first-round pick and Russell Westbrook for John Wall seemingly would be the trade that the Rockets would take. According to Mark Stein, the Rockets would take that trade. That's him. I'm just going to say this. I don't know if John Wall is a better player, meaning productivity, he would be better statistically than what Russell Westbrook is giving the Lakers right now. All things considered, he's been awful shooting the basketball. He's still a productive player, aggressive player. He doesn't shy away from any moment for good or for bad. I'm not sure if statistically he will be better for the Lakers than what Russell Westbrook is right now. Here's what I do feel confident in saying. Mentality. Meaning John Wall ain't finna come in and shoot air ball after air ball and keep shooting bad shot after bad shot or try to call his own number or not listen to Frank Vogel as much as Russell Westbrook has. So in that situation, I understand why the Lakers would make this move. I also understand the Lakers thinking, man, it's kind of like the Spider-Man meme right now. We'd rather stick with the guy that we built with that's clearly got some type of relationship and rapport with LeBron and AD. I understand both sides of it. I just don't think this is an easy one for me. Wall and Westbrook do similar things. Wall's a tad bit a better shooter than Westbrook, so I do believe on the court it would be a slightly better fit. But if you're asking me who would be better at getting Anthony Davis involved, in theory, you'd think it'd be Westbrook. But AD is having one of his worst years ever, and I know a lot of that is because AD can't stay healthy. But when he has been healthy, he ain't really had the best chemistry in jail like I thought he would with Anthony Davis and Westbrook, excuse me. So I don't know. This is one where I'm like, I get if the Lakers do it. I get if they don't. I would probably pull the trigger at the end of the day in the 19th hour. But I do think it's a questionable one at this point in the season to try to swap out point guards like this is NBA 2K and expect that chemistry to be there and expect things to work, fluidly for the Lakers they're trying to maximize having LeBron James playing at the level that he is right now at this point in his career. You're supposed to have an Anthony Davis that's supposed to be entering his prime right now. That ain't been the case, but that's what you expected to have. So y'all let me know, John Wall for Russell Westbrook. If you're Lakers, would you do it? If you're the Rockets, would you do it? Again, Rockets are likely going to buy Westbrook out of his contract if they were to make this move. So just keep that in mind. Essentially, this trade would be for the Rockets getting one pick out of it, maybe two, but definitely one future first. Let me know what you think about it. Comment box below.